was no longer fast and loud. I'm a free agent now that I've left Discovery. It was time to make some adjustments and make the process of buying, fixing, and selling an automobile more enjoyable. A multi-million-dollar lawsuit, employee walkouts, and the quiet demise of the show that made Richard Rawlings a household name have all caused turmoil in his gas monkey business empire. In a sense, it was a perfect storm. Oh, I'd kind of reached the summit of the mountain, which was Discovery, and there wasn't much else for me to do there, so it was time for me to, grow and extend a little. To exacerbate the situation, there are more rumors than ever before on the internet that Richard Rawlings from Fast and Loud has been sentenced for the Mustang incident. So, is this a permanent farewell? The distinction between fact and fiction is frequently as hazy as a burnout on hot pavement in a world where appearance is everything. We'll reveal the truth today, the emergence of a legend in racing. Richard Rawlings was born in Fort Worth, Texas on March 30, 1969, and grew up to become a well-known automobile entrepreneur and TV personality. He had an early fascination with automobiles. He bought his first car, a green 1974 Mercury Comet, when he was just 14 years old. Rawlings attributes the development of his enthusiasm to his father, Ray Rawlings, with whom he spent many hours in garages and at car events, connecting over the vehicles that shaped American automotive culture. His life's path was ultimately shaped by his early exposure to vintage muscle vehicles in the hot rodding community, which culminated in the establishment of Gas Monkey Garage in 2002 at 2330 Merrill Road in an industrial area of Dallas. Rawlings, who had previously worked in advertising and even marketed printing products, had a big idea and little means. He financed the garage with the money he made from the sale of his printing business, Lincoln Press. His objective was to establish a company that specialized in the restoration and sale of antique automobiles, with an emphasis on American classics from the 1950s through the 1970s. This marked the start of something significant. Gas Monkey set itself apart from many other custom shops with its raw, dynamic appearance and emphasis on high-speed turnaround, selling cars rapidly for profit rather than holding on to them as long-term projects. This strategy established the brand's tone and ultimately caught the interest of Discovery Channel creators. When Fast and Loud debuted on the Discovery Channel in June 2012, Rawlings and his company gained widespread recognition. The program focused on restoring dilapidated cars into valuable collector pieces while tracking the day-to-day activities of Gas Monkey Garage. Rawlings and Aaron Kaufman, a master mechanic, became the faces of a new era in automotive reality TV. The show's early popularity was fueled by the combination between Kaufman's mechanical genius and Rawlings' quick-witted, daring business sense. At its height, Fast and Loud drew over 2 million viewers per episode and was broadcast in more than 200 countries, making it one of Discovery's most popular shows by the end of its first season. Rawlings' approach to business and branding shone his ability to combine entertainment and entrepreneurship. He quickly realized that his persona had business possibilities, and he used his notoriety to expand the Gas Monkey empire. He established the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Dallas in 2013, the 12,200-seat restaurant, which was close to Dallas Love Field Airport, further solidified the brand's reputation by combining live rock music, automobile culture aesthetics, and Southern-style cuisine. Soon after, a second facility opened, and in 2014, Rawlings added Gas Monkey Live, a music venue intended to accommodate national touring artists, to its portfolio. At its height, the Gas Monkey brand reportedly made tens of millions of dollars a year and employed more than 150 people throughout its different departments. Rawlings made money from products as well. By 2016, large retailers such as Walmart and Target were selling Gas Monkey Garage clothing and accessories. Launched in 2013, the Gas Monkey Garage YouTube channel has amassed millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views, making it another significant platform. Even as traditional TV viewing started to drop, Rawlings was able to keep fans interested thanks to the digital content. Rawlings was a strong negotiator behind the scenes. One noteworthy instance from Fast and Loud is when he paid $2,500 for a rusted 1971 Dodge Scat Pack Challenger. repaired it with a custom 426 Hemi engine, and then sold it for $75,000. Another highlight occurred in 2014 when the iconic 1967 Ford Mustang, Eleanor, from Gone in 60 Seconds, was purchased and restored by Gas Monkey Garage. During the 8-year span of the event, Rawlings and his team restored and sold more than 300 cars, including Pontiac Firebirds and Dodge Chargers, some of which brought up to $200,000 at auctions like Barrett Jackson and Micum. There were internal conflicts that emerged despite the show's success. The fast-paced, high-stakes drama that comes with car flipping for cash was perfect for the show. The team addressed jobs with remarkable speed, frequently finishing complete restorations in a matter of weeks, whether they involved rusted barn finds or deteriorating muscle vehicles. Although this method was extremely entertaining for the audience, it caused a great deal of stress in the workshop, particularly among the knowledgeable mechanics who were most affected by the time constraint. The success of the spectacle was greatly attributed to Aaron Kaufman, its principal fabricator and mechanical genius. Long before the cameras came along, in the early 2000s, he had been working with Rawlings. Kaufman, a self-taught mechanic from Crowley, Texas, became a fan favorite and a key component of the show's authenticity because of his ability to turn abandoned cars into high-performance vehicles. His technical expertise plus Rawlings' ability to sell made for a powerful combination that propelled Fast and Loud's ascent, which by its third season was bringing in over 2 million viewers. 5 million people watch each episode. The show's influence was extended to more than 200 countries through international syndication. As a result, Kaufman and Rawlings became well-known names in the automotive industry worldwide, but fissures were starting to appear behind the scenes. Car builds were sometimes hurried to meet filming deadlines rather than being completed at the pace recommended by typical restoration standards because the unrelenting production schedule required constant content. Kaufman, of course, became more and more irritated. There were faint indications of conflict in a number of episodes. Kaufman expressed displeasure with shortcuts or challenged Rawlings' build concept. As the event became more spectacle-heavy, tensions increased. Additionally, Kaufman believed that the structure limited his creativity by providing little opportunity for experimentation or investigation of more intricate, time-consuming creations. Late in 2016, things reached a breaking point. Kaufman's departure was made public a few months later, on February 13, 2017, during the launch of Fast and Loud's 12th season. Kaufman said quit interviews soon after, including an open chat on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, saying he had become tired of the show's formulaic style and pressure cooker atmosphere. Kaufman was not the only member of the squad to leave. Due to the fast-paced, high-pressure work environment, a number of other Gas Monkey Garage employees left throughout the years. They included veteran technicians like Jordan Butler and Tom Smith, who had previously appeared in the 2014-2018 spin-off Misfit Garage. Although they later stated in interviews that personality conflicts and outset tensions were made worse by the demands of reality TV, the pair was sacked following an altercation with Rawlings. Mechanics Jason Akur and Jeremy Cheatham were among the other team members that discreetly left without giving a public explanation. By 2017, audience criticism was reflecting the internal problems at Gasman Garage. Although Fast and Loud's ratings remained stable, devoted viewers observed a drop in the caliber of builds and the lack of the team spirit that characterized the show's initial seasons. Rawlings persisted in building the franchise in spite of these obstacles. Mechanics like Tony Cano and Mike Coy were among the new faces brought to the garage to keep the format interesting. The builds went on. The shop floor was adorned with iconic cars such as a 1955 Chevy Bear and a 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1, but the atmosphere of the event had clearly changed. Rawlings' exaggerated personality took over the screen in Kaufman's absence, and the program lent more towards spectacle. Special episodes featuring celebrity collaborations, such as Dale Earnhardt Jr., were introduced, Dennis Collins as well. However, reviewers pointed out that the show's core, which was authentic automobile craftsmanship, had been watered down. Kaufman's post-fast and boisterous endeavors garnered a lot of attention, especially when he established ArcLight fabrication in Dallas in 2017. Kaufman's latest program, Shifting Gears with Aaron Kaufman, debuted on the Discovery Channel in March 2018 and was based in the new shop, which specialized in creating custom parts for Ford F-Series trucks. Shifting Gears received accolades for its more somber tone and slower, more deliberate construction process. Exactly the philosophy Kaufman has long promoted, even if show never achieved the same ratings heights as Fast and Loud. After 2 seasons, the program ended in 2019. Kaufman later made an appearance in Aaron Needs a Job in 2019, where he examined non-automotive sectors like aviation and military vehicles. Fast and Loud, meanwhile, carried on until 2020 but was obviously coming to an end. After 16 seasons and 155 episodes, Richard Rawlings confirmed the show's cancellation on December 14, 2020. Rawlings stated in an interview with the Joe Rogan Experience that he and the network came to the decision together. Reactions to the announcement were not quite uniform. Some long-standing viewers were disappointed, but others admitted that Kaufman's departure had caused the show to deteriorate. Fast and Loud made an indelible impression on automotive television despite the internal conflicts. It prompted a wave of similar series, from Iron Resurrection to Counting Cars, and helped popularize automotive repair. Car culture may be marketed as entertainment without losing any of its gritty elements, as Rawlings demonstrated. Additionally, Kaufman showed how integrity-driven workmanship continues to be appealing in a field that is becoming more and more impacted by social media and branding. Their artistic differences, Kaufman's focus on engineering and authenticity, Rawlings on commerce and spectacle, reflected a larger division within the car industry. In terms of quantifiable influence, Fast and Loud helped create a multi-million-dollar merchandising empire around the Gas Monkey brand, was translated into more than 30 languages, and aired in more than 200 countries. At its height, Nielsen ratings in the United States frequently attracted over 2 million live viewers every episode, placing it among the top 5 cable series on Monday nights. For an automobile program that was not scripted, this was an impressive accomplishment. Alongside other titans like Gold Rush and Deadliest Catch, the show routinely placed among Discovery's top-rated series worldwide, according to press releases from the mid-2010s. However, the drama didn't stop there. Legal and commercial conflicts. By the middle of 2018, Richard Rawlings' Gas Monkey empire was embroiled in a sour court battle that exposed the weaknesses in its growing brand structure. Citing slander and violation of contract, the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill's owner filed a $6 million lawsuit against Rawlings in Dallas County District Court on June 19, 2018. Rawlings, who had previously contributed his name and brand to the restaurant chain, was accused in the lawsuit of interfering with business affairs and publicly disparaging the owners, endangering not only the firm's financial viability, but also its reputation. The disagreement began in 2013 when the first Gas Monkey Bar and Grill opened at 1261 Technology Boulevard East, close to Dallas Love Field Airport. To capitalize on the success of Rawlings' show Fast and Loud on the Discovery Channel, the expansive venue, which could accommodate over 200 guests, blended live music, automotive, themed decor, and Southern-inspired cuisine. The idea was well received, leading to plans for more venues and the opening of Gas Monkey Live, a music venue in Northwest Dallas, in 2014. The restaurants were run by Gas Monkey Holdings, LLC, an independent organization headed by financier Daniel Flaherty and others who own the controlling interest. Despite Rawlings serving as the brand spokesperson, the popularity of the garage and Rawlings' public persona initially contributed to the restaurant's high earnings. In addition to hosting several concerts, car shows, and branded events, the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill generated tens of millions of dollars in income each year. Internal conflicts over the management of the eateries, however, were becoming more pronounced by 2017. Rawlings became more and more critical of the restaurant's leadership for what he called bad operational choices and poor management. Additionally, he bemoaned the weakening of the Gas Monkey brand, claiming that his trademarks and image were being used in ways he had not approved. This conflict escalated into a court battle. Gas Monkey Holdings accused Rawlings in their June 2018 lawsuit of launching a campaign to damage the eatery's reputations through internal strife and public remarks. Examples of Rawlings trying to sway company choices and making disparaging comments in interviews and social media posts were provided in the filing. In order to reclaim control over the restaurant division of the company, the plaintiffs alleged that Rawlings had shattered investor trust, turned off possible partners, and attempted to harm the brand internally. Additionally, they claimed that he had not complied with financial obligations related to the licensing of his name and trademarks. On April 8, 2019, Rawlings responded by filing a countersuit in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas. Rawlings accused the restaurant owners in his complaint of violating his trademark, breaking his contract, and using the Gas Monkey name and branding without permission. The lawsuit claims that even after their license agreement had expired or been broken, the restaurant company had persisted in using his name and likeness in advertisements and promotional materials. Given his lack of authority over day-to-day business operations, Rawlings said that this misuse damaged his reputation as the face of the Gas Monkey franchise and confused customers. The court battle continued for over a year, and although media coverage and court documents gave the public a peek of the animosity, the true extent of the conflict was mostly kept under wraps. Damages were claimed by both parties. The restaurant group was accused of sabotage, and Rawlings was accused of brand hijacking. Injunctions to stop any party from using the Gas Monkey trademarks without express consent were among the several motions that were submitted. The operational result was definitive, even if neither side achieved a public legal victory. The original Gas Monkey Bar and Grill near Lovefield underwent a covert rebranding at the beginning of 2020. The facility resurfaced with a new name, Amplified, after the iconic neon signage was taken down and the menus were revamped. Press releases and blogs about restaurants in the Dallas area, like Culture Map Dallas and Dallas Observer, later verified this shift and stated that the rebrand was a component of a settlement reached between the parties. Amplified eliminated all references to Richard Rawlings and Gas Monkey, while keeping most of the original restaurant's physical features and concert program. In May 2020, the Gas Monkey Live Performance venue also closed, partly as a result of dwindling earnings and the COVID-19 pandemic's wider effects on the live entertainment sector. Notwithstanding the renaming, Rawlings and Gas Monkey Holdings settlements, financial details were never made public. Both parties decided to cease their legal actions and proceed on their own. According to court documents, all claims were rejected with prejudice, implying that a settlement or financial arrangement had been arranged out of court. Nevertheless, neither party has offered a thorough explanation of the resolution because of the secrecy provisions common to these kinds of agreements. It was nonetheless evident that Rawlings and the restaurant company had a final divorce and that Rawlings was now fully responsible for the Gas Monkey brand in all non-rest endeavors. Rawlings stressed the significance of keeping stricter control over his brand in interviews conducted after the legal dispute. He turned his attention to creating digital video, starting Gas Monkey Builds on YouTube in 2021. He also made investments in various commercial ventures, including custom builds for collectors, sponsorship agreements with Dodge and Penso, and Gas Monkey Garage, branded car accessories. Freighter car accessories. Additionally, Rawlings started developing ideas for a new Gas Monkey branded establishment in the Dallas region that would be fully owned and run by him. With the belief that Rawlings' celebrity could increase traffic and establish a lifestyle brand, the inaugural Gas Monkey restaurant project was started at the height of fast and loud success. The legal quagmire, however, brought to light the dangers of granting personal branding licenses without enough supervision or contractual protections. Similar high-profile conflicts involving celebrity chef restaurants and athlete-owned gyms were reflected in Rawlings' experience. Endeavors where internal breakdown is frequently the result of rapid expansion and brand dilution. The dissolution after the legal dispute that lasted from 2018 to 2020 damaged the reputation of one of Dallas's most well-known entertainment venues, but it also gave Rawlings complete control over his brand and story. His corporate strategy has since evolved to be more defensive and efficient, concentrating on areas in which he has direct control and a defined chain of command. By 2023, Gas Monkey Garage and its related trademarks, now consolidated under his company, Rawlings Enterprises Incorporated, were still owned and operated entirely by Richard Rawlings. In the meantime, the Gas Monkey tradition has been maintained in a new, more regulated setting by Rawlings Web Content, merchandise sales, and auto manufacturing operations. In 2020, Richard Rawlings too had to bid Fast and Loud farewell for good. Fast and Loud is over. After 16 seasons and 155 episodes, the show's lengthy and tumultuous career came to an end in 2020. After airing in more than 200 countries and being translated into other languages, Fast and Loud has become a worldwide sensation in over 10 years. However, the franchise has fully circled back by the end of 2020. Rawlings made the official announcement that Fast and Loud was ending on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast on December 14th of that year. At first, Rawlings expressed a desire to diversify into other business endeavors and creative wariness. Since there isn't much going on in the podcast industry for my genre, I believe I will eventually launch a podcast. I've never been permitted to do it before, even though I know other guys are doing it and doing well, were his justifications for terminating the show. Under his R, he highlighted new branding activities, luxury car construction, and a rising focus in digital content creation. Rawlings' umbrella for marketing and media. Though Rawlings said that the decision was made voluntarily, rumors about the show's ending implied that deeper tensions might have been involved. According to a number of industry insiders, Rawlings and Discovery Channel officials were at odds behind closed doors. With the growth of streaming services and YouTube-based content, these conflicts mostly revolved around creative control, changing audience figures, and disagreements over the franchise's future course. Additionally, established cable networks like Discovery were adjusting their tactics, which would have made Fast and Loud susceptible to reorganization or termination. Rawlings' growing engagement in business and legal disputes in the late 2010s made matters worse. In 2018 and 2019, his well-publicized conflict with the owners of Gas Monkey Bar and Grill resulted in 2 lawsuits, diverting attention from production and straining business ties. The Gas Monkey brand was negatively impacted by the $6 million defamation and breach of contract lawsuit that restaurant partners filed against Rawlings, followed by his countersuit for trademark infringement. Even though the lawsuits were ultimately resolved, and the restaurant changed its name to Amplified in 2020, Rawlings' attention was diverted from television during the latter seasons of Fast and Loud. One of the Discovery Channel's most bankable properties in its heyday was Fast and Loud. During seasons 3 through 8, which ran from 2013 to 2015, it frequently placed among the top 5 cable series on Monday evenings and attracted millions of viewers each week. For instance, the show averaged over 2 in 2014. 5 million people watched each episode, and it gave rise to several spin-offs, such as Misfit Garage, which ran from 2014 to 2018, as well as crossovers with other Discovery series, such as Street Outlaws. Fast-paced restoration tasks, complex team relationships, and Rawlings' ability to find rare automobiles and sell them for a profit were the show's main draws. Every construction, whether it was a Darrell Ford GT40 copy or a 1972 Pontiac Firebird, blended classic Americana with risky finances and dramatic deadlines. However, the show's formula started to show flaws as the seasons went on. Viewers observed a drop in build quality and a change in emphasis from the mechanical process to Rawlings' personality. An important turning point came in 2017 when lead fabricator Aaron Kaufman left. The most admired technician on the show was gone, and the dynamics of the garage changed when he left due to creative disagreements and annoyance with the tight deadlines. Kaufman's absence exposed deeper creative divides within the team, in addition to compromising the build's technical depth. Between 2017 and 2019, a number of additional important employees departed the program, decreasing continuity even more. Rawlings started making strategic changes even as the television audience reached a plateau. by starting the Gas Monkey Garage YouTube channel, which just topped 1.4 million subscribers and amassed over 230 million views. He made a significant investment on digital media. Long-form build documentaries, behind-the-scenes videos, partnerships with other automotive influencers, and branded sponsorships with businesses like Penso, eBay Motors, and Dodge are all included on the channel. A complete restoration of a 1968 Shelby Mustang GT500, one of the most watched films to date with over 5 million views, exemplifies Rawlings' new marketing strategy. This one is more immersive, has longer schedules, larger budget builds, and no restrictions from the network. In addition to YouTube, Rawlings started the Gas Monkey Garage podcast in 2021, inviting motorsport experts, celebrities, and other business owners to talk about automotive culture and business branding. Notably, he has had guests such comedian Joe Rogan, NASCAR driver Kurt Busch, and WWE icon Steve Austin. The podcast format enabled Rawlings to talk more openly about his time on Fast and Loud, his legal issues, and his plans for the Gas Monkey brand's future, further utilizing his media image beyond the garage. He now has independence and agility, two qualities that were becoming more and more lacking in his broadcast career, thanks to this direct-to-audience strategy. Rawlings' emphasis on more ambitious high-end car constructions has been perhaps the most noticeable shift since the conclusion of Fast and Loud. Concours' high-quality restorations and contemporary performance modifications of vintage muscle vehicles are just two examples of the uncommon and exotic projects that Gas Monkey Garage has taken on since being released from the limitations of cable TV production deadlines. For example, Rawlings was in charge of the full re-engineering of a 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona equipped with a 6 in 2022, a 2-liter Hell & Crate engine, and specially made carbon fiber aero parts. A private collector in California purchased the construct for over $400,000 after it was displayed at the SEMA show in Las Vegas. When it came to flipping a rusted-out Chevy C10 in front of the Discovery cameras, this degree of difficulty and expense seemed unimaginable. Additionally, Rawlings has broadened his automobile business to include consignment services, collectible car auctions, and vehicle brokerage. Cars bearing the Gas Monkey logo have continuously brought in high prices thanks to partnerships with online marketplaces like Barrett-Jackson and Bring a Trade. A 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle 454, made by Gas Monkey, set a record for that model when it sold for $312,000 at the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction in 2023. Even if some fans still hold out hope for a Fast and Loud revival or relaunch, Rawlings has made it apparent that his current priorities are controlling the entire content pipeline, from conception to production to distribution. He revealed intentions to introduce Gas Monkey Digital in 2024, a streaming service that would provide unique access to behind-the-scenes episodes, premium builds, and interactive fan events. This economic strategy reflects comparable digital shifts made by other seasoned reality TV stars who have shifted from networks to direct fan interaction. However, you can always be haunted by the past. If rumors are to be believed, Rawlings seems to be experiencing just this. Rumors of a Mustang scandal. In his May 12, 2015 memoir, Fast and Loud, Blood, Sweat, and Beers, Richard Rawlings describes a terrifying incident. Therefore, the book has some never-before-seen pictures of my life prior to the show, along with some of our favorite and most difficult projects at the shop. One night in his hometown of Fort Worth, he was shot at and the victim of a carjacking attempt while driving his beloved 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback. Surprisingly, Rawlings maintains that neither he nor the vehicle were harmed by bullets, even though they were allegedly shot at. His book contained a dramatic narrative about the Mustang being unmarked and Rawlings being unscathed, but neither police records nor news reports have supported this claim. However, the alleged controversy gained popularity on the internet in a completely opposite way. The aforementioned anecdote from his memoir is only misreported and misunderstood in the online rumors surrounding the scandal. Some social media users and online forums, however, claimed that Rawlings had staged the entire incident for publicity purposes. They said that he staged a shooting to increase sales of his biography or to attract attention to his TV show Fast and Loud during its ascent to fame on Discovery. Others implied that Rawlings concealed or altered the tale to make himself seem unbeatable or fortunate, even if the automobile was in fact loaded with bullets. Let's make everything plain. Rawlings makes it very evident in the book that the Mustang was bulletproof and that he left the scene unscathed. Although he admitted that the scenario was unlikely, he presented it as an odd, high-stakes situation rather than a staged performance or inflated public relations gimmick. He never attempted to use the car as proof of the incident, and it was still in one piece. No attempt was made to inflate its value with fraudulent claims or sell it at auction with history. Although Rawlings never claimed to have called the police or that the account was confirmed by law enforcement, critics exploit the absence of a police report and media coverage to suggest the story is a fabrication. He only offered it as a personal story. Furthermore, Rawlings did not use this event to launch a special edition car, promote Mustang-themed items, or do media interviews about the incident explicitly, in contrast to celebrity scandals designed to generate viral buzz or sell merchandise. Press tours and Discovery advertising did not highlight it, and it was only referenced in passing in one of the book's chapters. Fans misrepresented and conjectured about the affair, which only subsequently acquired traction. Additionally, Rawlings and Fast and Loud had already achieved enormous success at the time of publishing. The show had already received several renewals and was attracting 2 to 3 million viewers each episode. In addition to being a commercial success, the memoir made it to the New York Times bestseller list. For little reward, staging a fictitious carjacking would have presented a serious danger to one's image. I hope this clarifies it. He has long since moved on from those times. Richard Rawlings has effectively made the shift from television personality to businessman and brand builder, using his notoriety beyond Fast and Loud to create a wide range of products, including merchandising, YouTube videos, a podcast, and expensive custom car builds. He still draws a devoted following, and his commercial endeavors show a more developed, varied stage of his career. In the meantime, there has been a notable move towards digital platforms in the broader custom automobile and restoration market. Former cable TV viewers are now following garages and builders on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, where projects are recorded in real time and frequently with greater openness than network TV ever permits. Channels like Hoonigan and influencers like Cletus McFarland have grown to be significant players, frequently surpassing traditional broadcasts in terms of interaction and views. These days, the market values direct communication with followers, creativity, and authenticity. Even if the heyday of cable-based automobile culture programming may have passed, the niche is still alive thanks to new technologies, changing consumer preferences, and a larger and more active worldwide online community. For his part, Richard Rawlings continues to be a pioneer and a veteran in this evolving field. That's about it for now. Thank you for viewing. Was this video enjoyable to you? To ensure you don't miss our upcoming uploads, if you did, please think about liking, commenting, and clicking the subscribe button. Additionally, pay attention to the video that is currently displayed on your screen. It's just not real.